Okay. Oh, I have a mouse, guys. I have a mouse. I have a mouse. I'm so happy. If you joined me for yesterday's stream, I did not have a mouse. Very sad. So let's continue. Let's do high initiative, because that's what I was trying to do yesterday. And then I didn't have a mouse, and it was really late. So, okay. I just want to say hi, guys. Ow. Ooh, okay. The starter classes ended, the starter class ended the relaxed 3 days of summer. It didn't take long for you to get back into the swing of the school year routine schedules, and homework became the new normal. Oh, I hate homework. Derek wasn't around nearly as much. With school and high school and after school activities, there weren't many opportunities for him to take the trip out to your neighborhood. Sometimes you'd hear that he was at a training camp or something like that, but you weren't always sure what he was up to. But you still kept in touch over the phone as best as you could. The Jeremy kid did disappear after that summer, and no one ever heard from him again. Where he went or what he might be up to was a mystery. More summers came and went, and like the waves on the shore coming in and out. In your second year of high school, someone new started to visit Sunset Berg. A sunny girl named Terry Brooke. She was a friend of Cove, made due to them both being ocean obsessed. Terry was more than glad to befriend you too.
In Element City, there's air, earth, water, and
someone
fire.
close to
but
Cove had to be good company.
Watch it, Sparky. From Disney
You were
and
pleased to get along
Pixar,
with her
fire
as
and
well.
water don't mix.
Terry was tight with another girl who
But
had
when
known
their
from
city is
distance.
in danger,
You had known
This
distance
is
from
our
school
home. We have to
for a
fix
long
this.
time.
unlike
Miranda
friends, will become
Ecker.
unexpected
He
heroes.
saw more and more of her
this
as
out.
time went on, thanks
I've
to
never
Terry
been
and Miranda's
punched
own
in the
outreach.
face with beauty
After a while,
before.
Disney and
all of you
Pixar's
just
Elemental,
developed a
rated
real
PG.
friendship
Parental
together.
guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters. Tickets available now.
As for your home life, the Rivers also had developments. Changing laws and public perception countrywide made it possible for your moms to openly wear their wedding rings without questions. Though they had a wedding years ago, it was only recent that the union was officially recognized everywhere in the U.S. That was a good day, to say the least. Elizabeth came into her own and stopped being quite irritable. She no longer worried about perceived childness as she grew up for real.
At Core
She didn't
Civic,
even mind
we
being
are
called
more
Lizzie
than
again.
just a uniform.
Although most
We're
people
the
used
officers,
Liz.
nurses,
She'd
and
eventually graduate high
educators
school
who
and
are
move out
making
to
a
attend
difference
college in
for
another
those
state.
in our care.
It's a
Lapalm
lot for you to
Correctional
adjust your
Center in
older
Eloy,
sister being
Arizona,
gone. Liz
is
never
now hiring
let you
for
forget her
multiple
role
positions.
in your life.
With
Though,
competitive pay, benefits,
kept in
and
touch.
career growth
Cole's
opportunities,
relationship with his family
now is
improved
the
over the years.
perfect
Kaya
time to
visited
join our
several
team.
times after that
Apply
summer, and things
today.
became easier
Core
between
Civic
the
is
two.
an equal
He was
opportunity
also closer to
employer.
his dad than ever before. You knew they talked more, and that had helped prevent a lot of friction before it could start. And Cove only continued to open up to his parents and the rest of the world. He was so bright, he shone. He would willingly join conversations, make jokes, and put in effort not to use overly blunt phrasing. Cove remained interested in everything across the spectrum. He loved to learn and stay inside, but he also loved to get outside and participate in more physical activities. He was multi-talented. But things have shifted between you and Cove, but in a way that most couldn't see. After all this time, he wasn't just your neighbor. He wasn't only your friend, or even a guy you were interested in. You were in love with him, and you loved Cove, and you knew that fact for certain. There was no one else you had those feelings for. It was strange to look back at it all. The future faded into your present, and then it was simply the past. Even the most fundamental parts of your life couldn't last forever. You felt that the most pointedly the day you inevitably graduated high school. It was over, and you would not be going back ever again. From now on, what came next was your choice. You'd be directing your own life. That was where you were currently. The summer after school had ended, the first summer of true freedom. What used to be deprived from the typical was now going to be your first step into adulthood. One fine summer morning, you took in what had been very special seeing the whole family having a meal together. Your big sister Liz still hadn't lived at home full time for a couple of years, but she arrived last week to spend the season since it was an off semester for her. She wanted to make sure she was in town because you now had also graduated high school, so who knows how much rarer these moments would become in the future. You watched as Liz laughed good-naturedly over a compliment made her. Elizabeth's only mindset had only been a phrase. Nearly any nickname was welcome at this point in her life. Strangely, even though she moved away, you lately felt closer to her than you had in a long time. You hardly scooped up more of your breakfast and chewed absent-mindedly. I generally ate whatever. And the meal you had reflected that. It included just about everything your moms had made, though you often made your own food nowadays. I make my own food nowadays. With Liz around, though, your parents made even more options than usual. Your sister had been vegetarian for a while, and they wanted to make sure she had choices too. Oh, they look so pretty! Moms look so pretty. Conversation had gone on idly without you fully taking in the words until your ears were peaked when Ma started on a bit of town gossip. And so that's how I heard the news. Alright. Now stop burying the lead and tell us, what's this so-called news? Ma giggled as she cast a look across the table, satisfied that she had everyone's attention. Well, it turns out that Danielles won't be renting out the condo up the street as per Sunset Bird tradition for the first time in what must be nearly 2 decades. A chorus of gasps and shocked expressions were all around. After the initial shock, your eyebrows pinched. Ma may consider them by name, but you and Liz always view them exclusively as a mean old couple who'd yell at anyone under 25 who crossed their paths. Your ma continued on with the story, spreading strawberry jam over a piece of toast as she did so. They decided not to take big trips anymore. Friends and family will be visiting them at their home. That's nice for them then. Have a good summer. Me and grandparents, no grandkids, away from us. Finally, they could piss off. Be nice, kids. You don't want to end up like them, do you? You and your sister cracked smiles at the joke. At least they won't be here to yell at my children anymore. Lonnie. And that blunt comment got laughter from all three of you. Engrossed in conversation once more, you continued to chat with your family until the meal was over. Whee! Step 3. Third time's the charm. What? As it went on, once the food was eaten and the cleanup had to be done, Liz took the role of washing the dishes and passed them to you for drying and putting away. You had a set of cups of you that needed to go on the top shelf of the cabinet. I was effortlessly. I'm very tall. That was simply your lot in life. You'd always been vertically gifted. Yay! Your height was something about yourself that you were quite pleased with. Liz shook her head at your internal musing by starting up an impromptu conversation. She seemed to be voicing the thoughts that had been buzzing around in her own head. I had to say, going back for another semester this fall is pretty imitating. You'd think after the first year or two I'd have a handle on things, but no. You stole a glance at her, still placing cups in the proper place. I guess it's only fair. My first round was pretty general classes, and year 1 of my architecture major was the basics. Now it feels serious. I actually have to know some things. The laugh she gave was flippantly airy, but the way she scrubbed at the plates held more force than necessary. How sweet of you to believe in me. Thanks. Your older sister's mouth quirked into a smile. It'll be fine, one way or another. Oh, but I'm not trying to scare you away from college, if that's even your plan. What's going on with that anyway? You answered the question as much as you were able and willing to. Liz's smile grew more assuring as you did. You made it through 12 years of full-time education already. Can make your plans happen. I'm sure. Sometimes it still felt hard to believe your public schooling experience was over in the end. I had graduated top of my class. You achieved a lot, and you could take what you learned by moving forward. Liz picked up on the silence her question ended up creating. She decided it was time to make a closing statement on the topic. You're a good kid, Mystic. Do what's best for you, and we'll be here to back it up. Thanks. You're a good big sister. At that, Liz happily passed the final dish your way. She waved a soapy, soaked hand as a farewell and moved on to her next task for the cleanup job. You refocused on getting the last pieces put back where they belonged. You eventually moved onto a new chore that was interrupted by the sound of your cell phone. I got a phone. Silly novelty song. Like my ringtone's the Mario theme song, so. You casually picked it up from the table where you had placed it earlier. The phone was a couple years old at this point, having been a 16th
Sheba.
birthday gift from your parents.
It's what we
They
cats
decided which
want.
model to get, but you got to pick
That's
the
why
color.
we do
It
all
was
this nonsense.
purple.
You thought it was pure affection?
Special charm,
Sorry,
which was
it's all about the
turtle.
Sheba.
Do they not have a turtle?
Sheba, what cats want.
You'll get a cold from walking barefoot.
Show. The
Stop
screen lit up
believing
as you
those
gave
tales. Like
gave
EVs
little
are
devices
boring
like a
or lack
plug finger.
performance. The
You were
all-electric
informed by the
Honda
caller
Ioniq
ID
features up to
that it was Lee. You
320
weren't
horsepower.
surprised. I love
Honda
Lee.
Ioniq.
Wait, I think we
Debunking
meet Dexter.
myths. Tap the banner to learn more.
I think we meet
Contact
Baxter.
your Hyundai
Dexter?
dealer
I
for
forgot his
availability
name.
details.
I think it's Baxter. I think so. Hold on.
There's some Dunkin'
I
at Home
think
Extras
it's
points.
Baxter. I'm not.
Oh,
good.
more points.
Yeah,
Man,
I
those
get to meet.
points taste
I think
good.
we meet Baxter.
With Dunkin' at Home Extras,
I think
you
we
can
need
turn
Baxter
Dunkin'
too.
grocery products
There's,
into even more Dunkin'. Simply upload proof of your Dunkin' grocery
Thing.
purchase,
I
redeem
think
points for
we
Dunkin'
need
restaurant cards,
Baxter
and treat
in
yourself
this.
to something delicious at a Dunkin' restaurant.
Despite
Click or
having
tap the
busier
banner
and
to
busier
join
lives
earn
and
a
not
$4
living in the
Dunkin'
same
restaurant
town, you
card
still
with
had a
valid
good
receipt
relationship
upload. Card is
with your
delivered as a
cousin of the
promo
same
e-card
age.
and expires December
Especially
31st, 2025.
Especially once the miracle of both of you having your own
Good
phones
news, hard
actually
seltzer
happened. She
lovers.
got hers first.
Neutral
though.
vodka seltzer is here.
Tapping at
Made
the
with vodka,
accept
seltzer, and
button,
real
you
juice.
answer her
Because
call
when good
from a
ingredients go
familiar
in,
bubbly
great
voice
taste comes
gets
out.
you right
Try
after.
Neutral, the one with the umlaut.
Hey, Mystic.
Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
I trust I'm not interrupting anything major? Only some cleaning around the house. Oh, then you're welcome for my call. A distraction from that must have been desperately needed. Yes, thank you, my dear cousin. It's my pleasure. Oh, she looks so pretty. She giggled, and you could hear the jangling of the jewelry she must have been wearing. Nothing amazing is happening for me either. I'm bored and felt like chatting. My morning shift ended, so I'm free for the rest of the day. Woo! That's good. Like you, Lee had started dipping her toes in the workforce as of late. It made keeping in touch frequently even more complicated, but you both managed. What about you? I'm pretty normal. Cool. That's you then. So, how's Mr. Cole been doing? There was a teasing bent in her tone. He was never willing to let up on what was going on between the two of you. But that name was incredibly familiar to yours. Cove, your next door neighbor for the past decade at this point. He was far more than just someone who lived on the same street. You weirdly remember the summer that you expressed feelings for each other. As little 13-year-olds. I forgot we were 13 when we did that. How old are we now? Are you even surviving without the boy being 10 feet away from you at all times? Or is everything right with the world again and he's back? No, Lee, he isn't here. Just like he wasn't here yesterday, or the last time you asked, or the time before that. Oh, my bad. Can you blame me? Doesn't it seem like he should have made his grand return already? Plus, I want to visit soon. He needs to be there too. You could understand where she was coming from. This is certainly outside the norm. The past couple months, and the last few weeks especially, Cook had been going to his mom's place in Nevada. The two of you still regularly stayed in contact over calls, texts and calls, but still. Your mind began to drift back in time to all the prior trips he'd taken to visit her. Almost every year he'd have to go away for a while and then he'd be back. It makes me sad and lonely. Some were just to borrow, and some were those, and others were for him to keep forever. He sent you letters while they're in return. That's how it was in the past. But lately, he'd been trying to see her as much as he could before taking long trips. Before taking long trips to another state became too impractical to do. His part-time work could become full-time soon, or he could be moving somewhere else for school. Copeland actually hadn't been entirely clear what his plans were after graduation. Cope was hesitant to speak on that, even with you. It couldn't be avoided forever, though you both knew that. Maybe switch up this to a non-Cope related topic? That works. The rest of the conversation rolled on, not much longer though. Lee had to go and had to finish your responsibilities around the house. The both of you exchanged goodbyes, and then you went back to what you'd been working on before the call came in. As you wrapped up the last of your chores, you were approached by Liz wearing a cheeky smile. I got Mom's keys. Want to get out of this tiny town and do some shopping in the real city? Yeah, it's been way too long since I've gone anywhere exciting. Good, I'm driving. Even though you could drive, it was her plan. She could do it if she wanted. Go get your wallet and anything else. We're going now. Wow, demanding much? Wow, demanding? With a nod, you made a quick detour to collect your stuff from your bedroom. You had money saved up from all the part-time work you'd done, as well as some gifts you'd received. After making sure that both of you were fully prepared for the long haul to the largest city in the surrounding area, you buckled into the car. It was a smooth ride there, with a light conversation about what shops to stop and the radio blasting. The trip there was breezed by in what felt like no time. You had gone from cruising down the road to cruising through the mall. Liz had her interest to check out and you yours. I wrote. I read. I actually read nonfiction, fiction, and poetry. So, basing this off a little bit about myself. That's nice. Games. I like to play board games, card games, and video games. Oh, what do I watch? I watch plays. People. Yes, I watch people. TV, movies. I don't really watch stand-up comedy that much. I like going to the beach, swimming, looking seashells, walking along the shore, and I've never been surfing, but I'd love to go surfing, so. Sports. I'm actually into volleyball, basketball, golf. I do actually play racquetball. Ish. I played at school. During lunch, I play racquetball. I also like watching them. Music. I actually play the piano. I can play the guitar a little bit. I'm not that good at the drums. Not that good at the violin. But I listen to it a lot. Yeah. Art, drawing, painting. There we go. And that was everything. When turning a corner down a new length of the mall, your eyes caught on a little gift store. Your friends and family had recently given you as many precedents for graduating high school. I needed to get a gift, Cove. Graduation may have come and gone, but Cove wasn't really around then anyway. You'd keep an eye out for something good that, though you might have something nice for at home already. Eventually the mall was explored in full, every shop of note being checked over. Rather than going home, you decided to walk to some smaller stores nearby. Liz had many thoughts on the topic. Honestly, malls are not the basin of society. Even if smaller stores require extra distance, brands are so much more. Then your sister abruptly stopped speaking and walked right in the middle of the path. It was a good thing no one was behind her. She seemed entirely shut off for a moment. Liz? The attempt to catch her attention was unacceptable. Something else had all her focus. Before you could puzzle what it might be happening, she began to mumble out the corner of her mouth. Mistake. Don't draw attention, but look. What? The harsh whisper and subtle jerk of her head, she urged you once more. Look! You followed her gaze as best as you could with a large bunch of colorful teens strolling down the same path. Okay. You faced back to your sister, confused expression and an unspoken question as to what you were supposed to be seeing there. Mystic. One of them seemed familiar? She was practically bouncing at this point. You looked at the group again, and this time you saw what she was seeing. Amongst the collection of strangers was brown hair, gray eyes, and lots of freckles. Oh, that's Shiloh, our Shiloh, from when we were kids. I miss Shiloh. Yep, that was definitely him. I can't believe it. He's honestly just there. That's hilarious. That's incredible. Oh, but how do we talk to him? We have to go away from all those other people, and what if I'm wrong? Her mouth opened to reply, but she cut off her own answer to the question. I've got it. I'll shout the name Sheila, and then we act like it wasn't us. If he responds to that, we'll know without a doubt. It's Mystic. Keep your eye out. See if he looks. Likely without even hearing what he had to say, Liz put her plan into action. Shiloh! Her loudly projected word across the way, and then put on an act of casualness, turning her away from the scene while brushing the skirt of her dress. A supremely awkward moment. You could only stand there as the area shifted the two of you thanks to your sister's shout. But many startled bystanders became altered to your presence. One of them was the boy from a distance. His large gray eyes met yours. He looked.
Shiseido's Urban Environment
A
Oil-Free
wide
Sunscreen
grin
SPF
took over
42
Liz's
is
face.
available at
She pushed
Sephora,
her with
and
her
it's
sun
more than
hat
just
up and away
sunscreen.
while her
It's
foot
powerful
listening,
sun care
while
that meets
pushing
cutting-edge
back the horse
skincare,
around to
protecting
keep her
against
own
harmful
friend
UV
directly.
rays while boosting hydration
Shiloh!
with hyaluronic acid.
Waving, she
99%
stepped
of
a bit
users said
closer
it made their
to
skin
express
feel
her-
more hydrated.
express
Plus,
her
it's
attention to
lightweight
me.
and doubles
Without
as a
really
face
closing the
primer.
gap, she
For
wanted
protected,
him to help her.
hydrated matte skin, use
He
Shiseido's
really
Urban
presumed to
Environment
be Sheila
Oil-Free
with surprise
Sunscreen
at the car.
SPF
He stole a quick
42.
glance at the
Discover
crowd. He
Shiseido
was-
Sun Care
He was
at
hesitantly
Sephora.
hesitantly glanced back your way. He was trying to double check something.
Welcome to AutoZone.
Liz
What are you
remained
working on
steady
today?
fast with her gaze
I think my
straight on him, and
battery's dead.
ultimately,
With free
he broke
battery
away from the
testing
rest of
and
them.
charging, AutoZone is here to help.
So light footed
What
jog
if I
across
need
the
a new
brick
one?
path.
We have the
young
right
man
batteries
presently
right here
presented
at
himself
America's
in front of you.
#1 battery destination.
Hi, I like your hat.
And what if I don't know how to
Just that
connect
simple
it?
greeting
No
got Liz
problem.
giggling.
We have a how-to for you at AutoZone.com.
Hi, I'm not sure if you remember this, but I'm Lizzie, and that's Mystic. We were all
Restrictions
friends
apply.
when we were little kids.
Guaranteeing a title before the championship game?
It went-
Legendary.
His already wide
Guaranteeing a
eyes
home
grew
run
even
by
larger.
pointing your bat to the
Their
outfield.
gaze starting between
Also
you and
legendary.
His
Guaranteeing you'll
blues
love your
attributed
car
him
or
to
your
something
money back for
delicate.
30 days? That's CarMax's 30-day
I'm
money
really
back guarantee.
sorry, but
And
I
also,
think you
pretty
have the wrong
legendary.
person.
Does that mean we also deserve a Hall of Fame
So,
nod? I mean,
you
we
can tell
already
not
wrote a
being
speech.
instantly
CarMax,
recognized was
car
gonna
buying
make this exchange
reimagined.
more
Up
of a
to
challenge.
1,500
Still,
miles. See
Liz
CarMax.com
was
for details.
undeterred. It was a long time ago. You were really young. I get why you feel like that. However, I'm positive I'm right. You're exactly the same. The face, the freckles. How you generally try to phrase things. You're even still wearing a hat. And simply, he looked up at his head with creased brows, not making a connection to how the hat meant something to her. We knew each other, okay? With an uneasy smile settled on him as a silence. Liz followed Liz's speech. He was picking his next words carefully. And then it was quiet but obliterated by a new voice bursting into conversation. Sheila, what are you doing? The rest of the group already left. A field trip is not a vacation. We're on a schedule. Startled, your head snapped towards the path. A distinctly unhappy individual with a piercing magenta eye, dark brown skin, and a sharp jaw stormed your way. He carried a cloud of authority with him, despite looking like he wasn't even 18 yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to ditch. Sheila, whose name was now officially confirmed, gestured with a hand to add the explanation of his absence, as the stranger watched impatiently. They thought they recognized me as someone they knew, but it was a tiny misunderstanding. Liz theoretically as well as literally put her foot down as well, stomping in frustration and getting more childish the longer she was around her childhood companion. We do know you. Sheila merely shrunk in on himself. The tone he spoke was with pain. Sorry. You honestly couldn't tell if he was apologizing for the upset feeling that of your sister, or that papal dissatisfaction of his new acquaintance that in itself was not as Sheila. That was not very Sheila-like. Oh, you know him. Is that it? The stranger spoke in a dismissive, scoffing tone. But if the words sounded so absurd to him, it was almost amusing. Almost. But the sternness of his demeanor quickly reinstated itself. Well, do you know me? I'll tell you. I'm someone who's been forced against his will to be aware of what's going on in Sheila's ridiculous personal life for a year. If the two of you had any importance in his general day-to-day existence, it would have come up by now. Don't bother trying to exaggerate any trivial connection you might have. Is not good enough. It's not good enough. He's with us, and you'll survive without him. Now stop loitering in the road. It's rude. Excuse me, we're the rude ones? A high-strung ranting got an audible gasp from Sheila, who finally started to speak up again in defense. Nate, that's really mean. It's also true. We're leaving. With that declaration, the unofficially introduced Nate indignantly spun on his heels and walked sweetly towards where the group went, completely confident that Sheila would follow behind. Oh, people can sure have bad attitudes, huh? Why can't they just try to get along? It's not that hard. Don't worry though. I bet you won't have to deal with him again. And I'm sorry, I can't stay to talk to you, but I hope you have a really nice life. Bye. And that was that. And that was it. His final parting words given. Sheila left the two of you behind to catch up with his own life that he had to go to live. Liz watched his exit, stunned only to frown when it hit her that he was really gone as quickly as he appeared. It happened so fast he hadn't even been able to get a word in. She sighed, all the energy she built up releasing with the breath. I could have told him his last name was Fields. His birthday was October 30th. That would have proved it, but no. Oh, damn. He had no other words for what just unfolded. Why aren't you running after him? Liz merely shook her head, pushing off childish thoughts. I think we can leave it there. Thanks. He's in the middle of a high school field trip, and it was already enough being able to see him. There is something reassuring about witnessing firsthand he still is out there, enjoying his own part of the world. Although, if there's a chance, I could definitely have a few words with him about the company he's got. She laughed, but you couldn't tell if there wasn't much humor to it. She was mad at the guy, even if she was happy to let Sheila go. Maybe they're the one. Maybe they're only with each other because of the trip, and not usually how things are. True. Can only hope the same for him as he did for us. Have a nice life, Sheila. Good luck out there. You'll need it. Liz smiled at you with it had the self-confidence you knew well from her. Come on, kid. Let's finish our road trip. Yeah. No matter how either of you really felt about the occurrence, it was just something you had to accept. People, just disappear and reappear in the most unexpected ways. The two of you enjoyed what remained of your outing until it was time to return home. By the time you arrived back, the sun was already beginning to set. You arched your back as you stretched your arms towards the ceiling. It had been a good day. Enough activity to cover an entire week. Liz tried to hide a yawn behind her hands, but you weren't the only one feeling worn out. I'll be heading up to your room, the guest room, since mine stopped being available as soon as I was out the door. Her tone was light. She had quite a lot to say when he first taken over her bigger room after she left for college. But there had been many trips back home since then. The room hasn't been hers for years. It was more of a running joke now that she continued to bring the topic up to this day. Thank you for being so gracious about giving it up. I had no choice. A small laugh was shared between you and your older sister. You better believe it, you'll be back in the guest room where you've got your own place, and we're both in town for a visit. We can take turns. You'll have Thanksgiving, I'll get Christmas. What a reasonable and mature suggestion. I'll think about accepting it. She flashed a familiar grin, and you couldn't help but feel glad she was back around, even if it was temporary. With that, she plodded off to the spare room. You're ready to do the same. Moving into a new space was your first opportunity to decorate from scratch. Oh, we get to design my room now. Okay. Oh, my mouse. Purple, green. Okay. Blue, green. I actually really like the setup. Purple. Okay. Yellow. I like the green setup the most. Window. Left, right. You have both? Lights. Yep, that's all me. I don't have extras, so we're done. You're really satisfied with the feel of your tiny part of the world. As your thoughts drifted, you tried to put down another yawn. It was no good. Your bed was now lodged in your mind, and all you could think about was collapsing on it. You trudged up the stairs to your room. Stepping inside, you closed the door behind you, blocking the rest of the house. When you turned back, you realized you were not alone there. Cove! I think he's back, comfortably perched on the windowsill with someone very familiar to do. See? He's back! He's back! Cove, hold on. How did you get into my house? Mom's probably let you in. What the hell? Surprise! His tone was easy and relaxed. It certainly was a surprise. You hadn't expected him to be within the state. Never mind your own house. He hadn't answered how he suddenly appeared back in Sunset Bird. Though to be fair, you had been so astounded, there hadn't been much of an opportunity for him to chat with you. Thankfully, Cove was only waiting for a good moment to start and began to explain. I got in about 15 minutes ago. No one was home, so I figured I'd come in the usual way. The window. Of course, that's the usual way. So where's Mom's? Where are they? Frick. Just spilled water everywhere. Oh, I got on my mic too? No. Ugh, fix that later. The window.
That's a Wow Wheat by 4-piece
that
brewing
scared
being
me so
opened.
much.
It's infused with a
A small
delicious
flat had
splash
formed
of
on his
sweet orange
face.
peel.
You were
but
still
that's
staring at
not
him,
all.
unable to
Wow
blink in
Wheat
case
is
he
also
disappeared. You
infused
could
with the spirit of
barely
giving.
believe he was
With every
really big.
purchase, a
Near
percentage
feet
of
away
sales
from you.
goes to the Joy Bus.
I
a
left my
nonprofit
bag in
that
your
provides
backyard.
home-cooked
I hope
meals
that's
and
alright.
friendly conversation to homebound cancer patients. Drink
That's when
beer,
you truly understood.
give back
Cove
with
had
Wow
come
Wheat.
straight to you upon getting back
Attaboy.
in town.
Please drink
You were
responsibly.
his first port to call, taking credence above all else. Even though you hadn't been in a while, he called. Even though you hadn't been well in when he called, Cove had ensured that he'd see you at the earliest opportunity rather than allowing his plans to change.
And sweet, chewy caramel, covered in a classic M&M's milk chocolate and wrapped in a colorful candy shell. M&M's
Hey, I'm
for
gonna join him on the
coffee
window.
shop vibes.
He was
Tap the
there.
banner to
He was
try
here.
new caramel
It
cold
was
brew M&Ms
exactly
today.
where he wanted to be. There was no need to hesitate in enjoying his presence. As he approached, quickly hopped from the windowsill and meet you. Oh, come on, I wanted to sit on my windowsill. This seems so fun. I can't do that. I got an easy unit. I can't sit in my windowsill. I got an easy unit. I can't sit. That looks so fun to sit on a
The House
windowsill.
of Mark Jacobs
Have any
is
of
so
you guys ever
important
sat
to
in a
me
windowsill?
because
It
it's
seems so much
created
fun.
a support system that has completely changed my life.
Perfect.
Seems so much
We
fun
are
too.
perfect as we are.
I can't believe my eyes. He's the most amazing man in the world. Hug. I am not okay. You reached out towards him in emotion. Your intention was clear. Clove opened up his stance in preparation. Once close enough, you leaped into his chest and wrapped your arms around his neck. With a smile stumbled back, he caught you and held on to you by tucking his arms over your lower back. I am happy he's back. I missed him. Then Cove leaned back on his heels, pulling you up in the air as you were of about equal height. He had to lean back as much as he possibly could to get you off the ground. I am taller than him. That's nice. He spun you around, your legs kicking against the empty air before setting you safely back down. Then Cove stuck his head, trying to dodge your overwhelming compliment. The whole world is a little much, Mystic. I don't think it is. He lowered his voice. Then, I'm the most amazing man. You'd have to be the most amazing person in the world. Period. Why did I do this now? You felt your face burn with color. Whoa. You felt your face burn with color. Thankfully, Cove didn't press the point. I missed you. Even if he hadn't said it outright, you would have gotten the message from his body language. Cove was grinning widely, his raised cheeks burying his eyes, which gleamed like hitting gems. But he looked at you as you were the most exciting treasure of all. Obviously. Was the trip any good? Cove's brows seized as he considered your question. He leaned back. After a long moment, he broke the kiss and tilted his face back just enough to speak, but not so much that your forehead stopped touching. Yeah! I hated it. Let's never be apart again. Okay? You said that absolutely as a joke, an exaggeration. Something that wasn't a real request. Of course. And yet, despite all that, it felt real. Your heart hammered in your chest. Your head swam, cast adrift in a tide of thoughts and adrenaline. Cove smiled as if offering a silent apology for a sudden onslaught of tenderness. But he let the words proudly hang in the air all the same. Cove told you about how his trip had gone. Soon, you'd even recovered enough to actually listen. His mom was doing really well. She had a project in the works that she was thrilled about. As a result, Cove was going to be sticking around in the Sons of Birds with having. Yes! Missed him. Okay, let's not spill water on my mic now. Talking takes so much out of me. Yeah, I could sing for like an hour straight. Of course, talking is fun. Things were settled as much as they could ever be. With Cove back once more, you felt at ease. He stretched his arms over his head, his eyes on the window and the world beyond. The sun had set while you'd been busy reuniting. Oh, I have a book on my bed. I didn't realize that. I should probably get my stuff and see my dad. He glanced over to you with a familiar, expectant look. Wanna come with me? You know I do. I love your dad. He's awesome. Cliff is awesome. Cool. Cove began to head to your bedroom door. Dude, piggyback ride. This is normal. Wait up. I need a ride. Cove shook his head, the smile on his face implying that it was you and your senses he was questioning not the request. He'd come to expect the latter, even if he didn't get why it has so much appeal for you. Because I hate walking. It hurts. I twisted my ankle. So I have to have a piggyback to your house. That's why. Okay. He crouched down just enough for you to hop on his back in a practice move. There hadn't been much of a difference in height between you. He didn't need to bend down as much at all. he saw doubly emotional. He knew that Cove could be sentimental. The gift, novel memories, and feelings that I adopted seemed to have taken a toll on him. He was beginning to slowly start to look to reject Cove. I can't, he just, Mystic, I don't know what to do. He forcefully scrubbed his eyes like he was trying to push tears that threatened to spill back in. Oh, Cove, it's okay. Do you want to cry? No. Nevertheless, he began to swirl down his cheeks. Even as he wiped them away, more took their place. Thank you. His voice quivered as he spoke. Phil reached out. He gently stepped towards me and laid. Tears fell until the air finally warmed. Head spinning in the ground of the security. Cove let out a steady breath in. It was far removed from the shaky gasp that had accompanied his sniffle. The tears had dried. His eyes were a little red, but open and at peace once again. He smiled, fully recovered from the emotion that had overcome him. You're really, seriously, too nice to me. He smiled back. You have no right to call anyone else too nice. Cove brushed his head against the pale ghost of a scar on his arm. He was at a loss for words what to do. The clock ticked away, counting the seconds of silence. Once you had a chance to settle your thoughts, do you figure you'd tell the Cove the intriguing news? I have to tell you, you never guess who I saw today. You didn't give Cove a chance to reply. There was seriously no way that he just figured it out. Shiloh. Cove repeated the name, his expression blank. From when we were kids? Cove pondered for a moment and snapped his fingers. Oh, he was that freckly boy that first summer, right? The one who moved? The guy was named Shiloh, and he just looked like Shiloh back then, even wearing a hat still. We had no idea who I was and ran off somewhere. Cove frowned. That's I don't know. Too bad. I missed it. Though you knew him better than I did. That was definitely true. Not only had Cove known Shiloh for a shorter period of time, but he and Shiloh never really quite gotten along. Never quite gotten along. Not that they were enemies either, just kids who only ever saw each other because of other people they both knew. Whoa! Okay, I fixed it. I wonder what Sheila's up to these days. I don't have an idea. He didn't say much. Oh well. That was everything he had on the news item. So he moved on to the next big update. You also know the mean old neighbors, the one that would always yell at us? He cringed, recalling the particular memories back in the day was not pleasant even for someone as nostalgic for him as him. Yeah? They're not coming! They didn't rent out the condo this year. Cove's jaw dropped. You didn't blame him. The elderly couple had been in situation as far back as you can remember, long predating Cove's arrival. Even now as a teenager, you found your neck prickling as you walked by their condo, half expecting a scolding for breathing the wrong way in the vicinity of their vacation home. It was strange to think that that was coming to an end. Wow. Cove blinked, clearly struggling on the idea in the same way you had. I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. It feels like I've missed a lot. And this has been a busy summer already. Well, you haven't missed the fireflies. They haven't shown up yet. Well, that's something. You better not get left behind. There's still stuff to do.
Thinking
You
about
nodded
gas
as
mileage?
soon as
If
you
your
left
check
your house.
engine light
Cove
is
bent
on,
down
it
to let
may
you
be
climb on his
affecting your
back for the left
MPGs,
part of
but
the
the
journey.
free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report
It seemed
backed by
no sooner
technician
that the night
verified
had
fixes,
begun,
you'll
there
know
was
what's
already-
affecting your gas
was
mileage
already at
and
an
more.
end, and the
you
dawn
don't
of a
have to
new
drive
day
too far to find the fix.
was upon
The
you.
free AutoZone Fix Finder service
Next
is
morning,
available
your
at
belly
all
was full,
6,200
was
stores.
full of breakfast and you were in the pleasant mood. You
See
hoped the
details
rest
at
of the day followed
AutoZone.com.
suit. Later, you were meeting
Sheba.
up with your friends Cove, Miranda, and
It's what
Harry
we
who,
cats
to go
want.
into town.
That's why we
was
do
all on short
all
notice.
this nuzzling. You thought it was
But
pure
that was because everyone was
affection?
just so excited that Cove
Sorry.
was finally back home.
It's all about the Sheba.
Having a nice daydream? You blinked, pushing your thoughts away and
Sheba.
returning
What
to
cats
reality.
want?
Your mom was watching with a
From
teasing
cloud
smile.
storage to cold storage,
what's on the agenda
hardware
today?
to tableware,
Meeting up with some
business
people?
expenses look different
Well,
to
I
every
hope
business.
you and your friends have
With
fun.
American
Don't get
Express
into too much
Business Gold,
trouble.
you get 4 times
She winked at you,
membership
knowing
rewards
both you and your
points
mom
on your
was wanting
top
to
2
enjoy
eligible
every bit of
spending
the summer
categories
before
each month,
the big
like
real
advertising
big changes
purchases.
started.
So you can
I'll
enjoy
try.
looking forward to great rewards.
Before you go
Terms and points cap
gallivanting
apply.
around the town,
Learn
can you
more,
bring
including
the
important
mail in?
category
I'm finishing up
limitations at
putting
AmericanExpress.com/business-gold.
putting dishes away over
Amex
here.
Business Gold.
All
Built
right.
for business.
The one thing I do best. Where do you work? I need to know, where do you work? Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave. Goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time. You both watched his dad leave. He is one of my favorite people. He always tried his best, and he was honestly just great. As soon as he was out of sight, Cove said slightly, "Are you okay?" Yeah, just not looking forward to waiting, I guess. I'll be hanging around the street for a while. Curiosity about the new tenant was getting the better of you, and you figured the wait wouldn't be too much longer. Besides, you couldn't just leave Cove. Really? Of course! I like keeping you company, remember? He stared at you for a moment, softly smiling and thinking about his response. I like that too. Cove put his hands on your shoulder, his thumbs on his money moving in soothing circles. The look in his eyes was much firmer. He was serious. Mystic, you are my true ally in this world. That got a fair amount of chuckles from you. He grinned, the stoicism fading into amusement. You're always good to me. Can't help myself. Yeah? Well, good then. I don't know what I'd do without you. The smile on his face reached his eyes and made you feel electric. And then he let go of you. Cove stepped over to his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat, leaning back on his arms. Our watch begins. Nodding in agreement, you joined Cove on the front porch steps. You both sat there in comfortable familiarity as you settled in for the waiting game with the new tenants. Your neighborhood was quiet, and you sighed contentedly, closing your eyes and feeling the light breeze. Eventually, you both picked up the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. Cove's eyebrows raised at the sight. He sat up straight on the stoop. This has to be them, right? The only people who come here live here. It has to be. Not that they were here, you couldn't help but feel a bit curious. Wait, did that actually say stoop or step? That say stoop. Okay. Not that they were here, you couldn't help but feel a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. Taxi pulled up as you expected right in front of a now empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get the view of the passenger door as it opened. As the single occupant exited the cab. Huh? It's Baxter! You could feel what Cove was in the moment. For last winter, this new visit was definitely not exactly what you expected. Ah! You're back! It was a young man and had to be close to your own age. He was dressed fully in electric black, white, and gray outfit. Elastic, black, gray, and white. Elastic? Is that it? I can't read words. Even his sides with big hair. Master scheme. Yes, because he's awesome. The only proper color of this was from something that couldn't easily be fashioned into submission. A pair of dark brown eyes which you caught when you looked over his audience. Hello, folks. Who might you be? We're the neighbors. Smile already prominent on his face curled further. It was cocky, but you didn't get the impression he meant something at first. Hallelujah! You and Cove shared a familiar look with one another, bewilderment even further. You know, I might get that DLC. The color-coordinated man left it there. However, and with a firm click, he shut the door to his right. He turned his back to you and received a large, unsurprisingly black suitcase out of the trunk. Continuing his own business, strolled forward and lightly tapped on the driver's window with his knuckles, asking for them to roll it down. When it opened, he leaned down and rested his arm on the edge. You assumed he was thanking the driver for getting there, considering he slipped a brief chat during the chat. A tip during the brief chat. Then they shook hands and then he pushed himself up and away from the taxi, both arms giving the driver room to leave. Taxi pulled away carefully down the street and out of sight around the corner. The new legend had officially arrived. I'm gonna end it there. I'm really tired. What time is it? It's only 10? Wow. I guess sleep is getting the better of me today. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually wake up. Not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. Well, that's it for this time. We will save it. No. Go away. Log. I've played on this before. Astor. River Astor. And Alex Smith. So I've played this like 2 different times. And this one's all river. This one's all mistakes. Alright. I'm gonna end it there. I'm going to bed for the night. Well, I'm going to bed for the night. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.